PDO threads. Is this just another fad in aesthetics, or is this a real tool that we can use to help rejuvenate our skin and help regrow our hair? Today we're going to talk about what it is, how we can utilize it for different treatments, and what results we can and can't expect to get. Let's get into it. PDO threads stand for polydiaxanone. These are suture materials that we place underneath the skin to help improve collagen formation, help lift the skin, and allow for dormant hair follicles to wake up. So let's discuss how this happens. There are two types of PDO threads that you can use. There are monofilament threads or smooth threads, and then there's barbed threads, also known as cogged or screw threads. Now, the mono smooth threads are threads that allow for collagen formation and allow for rejuvenation of the skin. We utilize these threads in places where maybe filler isn't a good choice or might be difficult to use. So, for instance, if you have really deep 11 lines, okay, this is a dangerous place to put filler, but it's a great place to put in a thread. If you have the décolletage area, okay, this is a great place to throw in some smooth threads. It'll help lift the skin and allow collagen formation to naturally occur over time, allowing for the natural rejuvenation of the skin in this area. Smooth threads are also what we use in hair restoration. They're placed in a grid-like formation, allowing for the extracellular matrix to get involved, improvement of nutrient flow into the hair follicles, and allows for the dormant hair cells to wake up. The threads also allow for blood flow to go to the hair follicles in an improved fashion, which is the benefit of placing the threads into the scalp as well. Now, opposite to the monofilament is the barbed threads. Barbed threads are what we use to lift and reposition the skin. The barbed threads are the non-surgical way to adjust the internal scaffolding of the face. So you can use it to help adjust and improve the lifting of the jawline, the cheeks, and also even the eyebrows. The thing to note about barbed threads is that it is very practitioner dependent. In order to get optimized results, you really have to make sure that you find someone who is very good at them. When you do thread lifts, there are more side effects that can be negative. You can get puckering of the skin, dimpling like formation where the threads connect, that can sometimes be improved with massaging, with certain manipulations of the threads. But sometimes, if they're sort of stuck or locked in a certain position, it can pucker your skin like that until the threads dissolve. The good news is, whether they're smooth or barbed, the threads usually dissolve within 3 to 6 months. So these are obviously always temporary treatments, as are most in aesthetics, but definitely something to keep in mind in terms of your pros and cons list. If you're getting smooth threads done for whichever indication, you usually get them done in a series of 3 every 4 to 6 weeks. If you're doing a barbed thread lift, usually you'll get 1 done, and it'll last you upwards of 18 months if it's done well. So that's the benefit of getting a thread lift. But aside from the puckering that we mentioned before, other red flags to sort of monitor for would be infection, right? With any procedure that is medical, infection can always occur, which is really important to monitor for sterility. It's also important to make sure that once the thread is placed, it's placed in completely. There's no piece of it that is sticking out, if a piece of it, or whatever the case might be. There can also be asymmetry that occurs if you are getting a lift done. You can also have migration of the thread. It's not as common as it happens with filler, but it can occur. Usually threads are placed in grid-like form, which gives them that scaffolding stability, but again, just something to look out for. Overall, PDO threads definitely have their place in aesthetics. I think that when it comes to certain areas of the skin, threads can really help improve the collagen formation, especially in areas like the décolletage, or areas where maybe filler is a little bit dangerous to place, like the 11 lines or the upper lip. for smokers lines. That's another great place for smooth threads. When it comes to thread lifts with barbed threads, if you get a practitioner that's really great at them, I mean, chef's kiss, they look so wonderful, and it really saves you a trip to the surgeon. So that's a really great tool to use. So, you just have to make sure you do your homework, you make sure that it's utilized in an appropriate fashion, and it can really be a really great thing. When it comes to hair, it's just another dose of things that we can do to really just, pack on the power to the follicles and make sure that they're getting the nutrition and the blood flow that they need to stay healthy and to stay nourished and to continue to grow strong and good. So if you have any comments, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down. We can keep this conversation going, and let's stay learning.